Hey there, fellows. This is Sharon, the founder of Self Care for Black Men. And with Self Care for Black Men, we are here to encourage, promote, and support self care for men to heal, thrive, and grow mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially. And with one of those ways that we do that is by meeting once a month for uplifting Black Kings. And with Uplifting Black Kings, this is for you. And I am the host, and there will be times in which we will have, my vision is to have guests. And so as we continue to grow and expand Self Care for Black Men, as well as Uplifting Black Kings, is that you will see men who look like you with similar stories. And there'll be times in which I will be the host and just bring you different nuggets and different conversations where you can go deeper within yourself. For Uplifting Black Kings, it is a place where you can allow yourself to be safe in having discussions with so many various topics that's important for you. And then also strategy, strategies, strategies, strategies of how to take care of yourself. This morning, or shall I say this afternoon, I'm having a tongue tied here. Oh my God. This is what we call being human, right? We're going to have a strategy of how to take care of yourself. Practices and rituals, because when you take care of yourself, that is how you're able to take care of others. And so, with Uplifting Black Men, again, it's a community group and a community circles for men. There are times in which there may be five, maybe one, and sometimes I am just speaking to everyone who's willing to hear. And so, with Uplifting Black Men, today we're going to talk about self love. But first, let's start off, as I always say, it's so important to be able to settle ourselves, to ground ourselves, because we are in and out of so many different areas, and sometimes, especially if we either are busy or just may have had a disagreement with someone or something, we need to be able to enter into a new environment fresh, refresh, and clean and clear. And so the only way to do that is to breathe, is to sit in silence. And so let's go ahead and sit in a comfortable position, whatever that is for you, or you can stand or you can lie down. And if you're sitting down in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, or you can sit down on the floor with your legs straight or your legs crisscross, or your back against the wall, whatever is comfortable for you. Allow your sit bones to ground, or shall I say, ground your sit bones into your chair, onto the floor, and align your back. Relax your shoulders away from your ears and gaze your eyes towards Mother Earth. Gently close your eyes if you like. Place your hands, you're going to place your right hand facing the sky and your left hand facing Mother Earth onto your lap. And this way we are receiving what we need, and we're also grounding ourselves. And let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Let's inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth with a ha. And as you inhale, inhale through your belly, all the way up through your nose. One last time, inhale through your nose and out of your mouth. And now center your heart with the rhythm of your breath and just breathe. And anytime your mind seems to wander or your thoughts seems to wander and your mind is racing, always go back to your breath. We're going to allow ourselves to be able to hear what we need to hear, to see what we need to see, to feel what we need to feel, to smell what we need to smell, to taste what we need to taste, while at the same time to ensure that we are settled. And as we settle, allow what does not serve us to uproot itself and leave. Continue to go back to your breath. And now bring your attention back to the surface. And slowly inhale through your nose. And slowly exhale through your nose. And gently open your eyes. And now we're here in this sacred place. And again, Uplifting Black Kings is for you. And so today we're going to talk about self-love. And so with self-love, what is that? And so I found, we're going to start off by defining it. And so self-love is the unconditional love and respect that you have for yourself that is so deep, so solid, so unwavering that you choose only situations and relationships, including the one you have with yourself, that reflects that same unconditional love and respect. And this is by Christine Arlo from alwayswellwithin.com. And also another way of looking at self-love is you have to choose yourself even when others refuse. Self love is choosing yourself, and choosing yourself is self care. You're entertaining the wrong things with the wrong people because you're struggling with loving yourself. It's okay to take a break, a moment for yourself. It's okay to be selfish if it means rediscovering your own power and happiness. And this is by R.H. Sin. And so when you hear self love, what does that mean to you? What does self love mean to you? And so when you ponder upon that, where did you first learn about love, the meaning of love? And where did you first learn about self-love? And as for myself, I can say that I first learned about love probably from television and watching my mom, of how she loved us by the things she does. She wasn't one of those parents that said, I love you. And she wasn't one of those parents that gave a whole lot of hugs. She encouraged my brother and I to to hug each other. But we never saw her hug the both of us. And so that is the foundation of how we interpret love and what we see. And so in saying that, in one part, it's like in seeing the relationship love or intimacy, that was probably more profound in my image of love, and not just that unconditional love or what a parent has. And like we knew that she loved us by the things that she did, by the safety and security that she had. So, what about in your family? Where did you first learn about love? And how was self love defined? And even now, today, some people struggle with taking care of themselves, and when it comes to self love, because it almost seems like it's self indulgence, it's something bad, it's something evil. Because our society has truly programmed us to take care of others. It starts young, it starts in the home, it starts in the school. I'm an older sibling. I'm an older sister. So if anyone who's the oldest, what have you had to learn to do? You had to learn to share. And so, but who shared with me? My mom did. But anyone else on my level didn't share. And in school, one memory that comes up, if anything that I've learned, and this is true in life, unfortunately, those who bark the loudest are the ones who get their way and get what they want and who are heard. So, meaning if there's a mean person in school, in class, and even though they could have been in the wrong, if if you're the quiet person, or whatsoever, then it's almost like you're taught to succumb to them so that their bark won't be so loud. So how do you, because speaking up for yourself is a form of self-love. So all the different messages that we get, And when it comes to our parents and caregivers, truly, I always say outside of abuse, outside of that, they did the best that they could with what they had, with what they knew. Because again, who was loving on them? Where did they love? Where did they learn about love and self love? And a lot of times we look for love outside of ourselves. What about you, fellows? How do you define love? Did you hear and see your parents or loved ones taking care or loving themselves? When was the first time you saw your loved ones, your parents, your caregivers loving themselves? And I know a lot of times, especially as parents, the word is always, oh, the kids come first, even when it comes to relationships. When I say relationships, I'm talking more about committed relationship, about marriages. Outside of that, children do come first. But if each person is not taking care of themselves, not only is it wear and tear on the body, it's wear and tear on the heart, wear and tear of the soul, wear and tear of the mind. And down the line, this is when stress takes over. It's not even down the line. This is when stress takes over in its present moment and it manifests itself as aches and pain and inflammation, as diabetes and heart disease. And one thing that I did forget to say, and you probably already figured this out in the beginning, make sure you have paper and pen or pencil so that you can write these things down. And pause this video so that you can reflect and explore any inner parts of yourself you never looked at before. And then if you did see someone taking care of themselves, indulgent in self-care, what was the message you got about that? What was your interpretation? How did you perceive that? What did you say about that? And what did other people say about that? Because I can kind of see two scenarios. There are those people, it's like they want what they want, they're going to get what they get. It can be on the borderline of being selfish because they're not considering others. And sometimes that comes from a lack of love and nurturing. So sometimes that's where they're overactive, indulgence of things. And one thing about being an adult is that we can go back and explore all those things and we can nurture ourselves of what we didn't have. So, again, what message did you get about self love, about acceptance, about selfless? What message did you receive about self love? And one thing I can say is, I can't really remember exactly growing up, because I can definitely say my mom definitely made sacrifices for us, but definitely I can say after we graduated, what I saw was like she definitely took care of herself. It's like she loved bubble baths. She loved getting her hair and her nails done, pedicure and manicure. And one thing I can say is her husband, my stepdad, definitely took good care of her in those areas as well. But she was going to make sure she did that. You know, she took her time in not just in bathing herself, but also in lotioning her skin and things like that. And there is something about us touching ourselves. It's like sometimes we expect others to do certain things, but it all begins with us. And you can interpret in touching yourselves in any way that you like, but the sense that I'm talking more about is just in a nurturing way in touching yourself. Just in, it's almost like the same way you would smoothly soothe a baby. How do you soothe yourself? And in saying that, how has the lack of self love impacted you? How has the lack of you not taking care of yourself impact you? What are your needs? Because we have all this expectation of others, and especially if we're in a relationship, we're telling others, oh, you should do this, you should that, this is what makes me happy. But what are you doing so you can get that happiness? What parts of yourself needs nurturing? What was it, if anything, you wish you would have had more of as a kid? What was, did your parents bond with you? And that's really important too. You know, sometimes we hear the little saying, oh, don't pick up that baby too much. And don't be picking up that baby where they're crying. You're going to spoil them. I would just say make sure that there's a balance, because that baby needs to know, that child needs to know that they are cared for, that there is security, because with all of that, they're relying. Everything is on their nervous system. And so, did our parents, not just hug us, but really hold us even when we weren't crying? And did they hold us when we were crying? Did they soothe us? And sometimes, with the lack of that, even though we don't remember in our mind, but that emotion is in our body. And I know for myself, I'm a touchy feely kind of person. And so that can be good and sometimes not. So it's a way of me taking care of that need for myself and not expecting that from others. Right? I'm saying others. But not expecting that from someone that I'm involved with. It's nice. And again, when I say that, not even in a sexual way, but more in a sensual, nurturing way. One thing that I've discovered is that, um, those things that we might have used to do for, I'm saying used to do for children, for babies and for toddlers when they were younger. But some of it, they grow out of it. It was like they think they're grown. Like sometimes, like some teenagers don't want hugs from their parents, still hug them. Because believe me, as when they get older as adults, they're going to want it and they're going to appreciate it. but, um, but yeah, and especially with men, when it comes to hugs. There's this, I'll put it like this, that more men are realizing they need hugs from men, and it's healthy. Because again, in our society, when it comes to hugs, they've sexualized it, you know. And sometimes as in a greeting, you can give each other a hug. And even when you're leaving, like it's okay for male and female to do it and for female to female, but for whatever reason, when male does it, males do it, then there's something wrong with that. But it's a human need to be connected, and everything is connected. And so it produces chemicals in our bodies that make us feel better. And when we're feeling better, we think better, and there's clarity, and we have energy. So, whatever we desire or demand of others, we must give to ourselves first. So, what is it that you demand of others, especially in a relationship or from a female? And I'm saying female, I would say from others. What is it that you desire? I would say that's non sexual. What is your need? And then sometimes you may be pissy mad that the person isn't given. And even when it comes to being sensual, and even when it comes to sex, is it love? And I know men and women are different when it comes to that. In some areas, I'll just say some areas we're the same, and some areas we're different. Do you equate it with love? I've seen some interesting conversations with men. Because again, this is about you digging deep within yourself. And so, what parts of yourself needs nurturing? And regarding those messages, what messages, with the messages that you had received, with the messages that you had received, um, what messages may need to be redefined, reframed? And when it comes to self love, it gives you an opportunity to understand yourself better. Again, as soon as you get frustrated or have an attitude with someone else of them not doing something for you, ask yourself, have I done that to myself? If you telling someone that they're not paying you any attention or they're neglected you, ask yourself, have you not paid yourself any attention? In what ways have you neglected yourself? Because the more that we put out into the world, or the more expectations that we have of the world, we need to make sure, or at least look within ourselves, are we doing those things for ourselves? And even when it comes to self-care, sometimes we want to put so much trust in others, but do you have trust within yourself? Do you have respect for yourself? So again, anytime negative feelings come up about others, because again, everything in our lives, as it says, the man in the mirror is a reflection of ourselves. And so when it's a reflection of ourselves, it's, to me, it's more of those parts of ourselves that may need nurturing, or those parts of ourselves that there may be a wound or unfinished business or unresolved issues that we may have. The more attitude we have about something, the deeper we need to go. I've discovered that within myself. And so take the time to get to know yourself. Write these things down and hug yourself. Give yourself a hug. Yeah. And so another way of getting to know yourself and nurturing yourself is to be with yourself. It is so important. There's no way around it, fellows. There's no way around it. Society has set up this busyness to distract you from being the kings that you are. So that means you override it by taking care of yourself and giving yourself love. Because when you give yourself love, you're able to love others. And when you love others, then you're able to get back in return what you desire and even more. And so, with Self Care for Black Men, of course, you know that we promote practices and rituals to create some routines so that you can better take care of yourself. And again, um, everything is connected. So the more that you do and you do not rest, the more that you do not reflect, the more that you do, we are really going against ourselves. And so to get to your heart, again, is to take time with yourself. And so we're going to have a brief practice of pretty much of connecting to ourselves and opening our hearts. So this is called bound angle, supported bound angle. One of my favorites. So what you would do is you'll need some pillows. If you don't have, if this is called a bolster, this is a block. And basically, if you have pillows, I'll probably say maybe about 4 pillows, and where you can put it, at least one of them at an angle. Let's stack them and put at least one as an angle. And then, and again, if you do have a bolster, you replace a block underneath the bolster. And have this for support, a blanket. And what you would do is you would bring your buttocks, your back up to the edge, but make sure that there's at least where your hand can fit between it, come close to it. Inhale and slowly roll back. Get yourself comfortable. And then you're going to bring the sole of your feet onto Mother Earth and slowly bring your knees down. And then the sole of your feet together. And if you have some blocks, and also you can have some towels and roll them up. And this is for support. These are called props. And so you use them to support, to fill in space. I may not need that at all. And so we will be here. Oops. We'll be here for about 15 minutes. I'm at 10 minutes. And so take a deep breath in and exhale. And on the exhale, release any tension that may be in your back and settle your body onto Mother Earth. Let's do another inhale and exhale. And make any adjustments to settle your body. And relax. And this is a great chest heart opener. Now you're receiving energy from Mother, from the sky. And you allow Mother Earth to support you. And with restorative yoga, There's no tension. So if you feel any tension in your muscles, readjust. You may need to add a towel to fill in space or to create space so that there's no tension. And in this practice, we're doing it for 10 minutes. Ideally 15, 20 minutes. Give yourself permission to love yourself. Give yourself permission to open your heart towards yourself. Give yourself permission to take care of yourself. Slowly inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. And gently and slowly roll yourself over onto your dominant side. Slowly. And take about 5 breaths. And gently and slowly lift yourself up. Sit crisscross, or your legs straight, whatever is comfortable for you. And thank you for joining Uplifting Black Kings and Self-Love and taking care of yourself so you have the energy and the clarity to do what you need to take care of others and those in the community and the world. So thank you, fellows.